Walk into almost any college dorm room in the world, and you will likely find him. His image has been flattened into a universal mascot for relaxed vibes, peace signs, and marijuana. But to find the historical figure, we have to look past the posters and travel back to May 21st, 1981, to the hills of 9 Mile, Jamaica. Thousands gathered for the state funeral of a 36-year-old man. When his heavy bronze casket was finally prepared for the mausoleum, his loved ones placed a specific set of items inside with him. Beside him lay an acoustic guitar, a stalk of ganja, a worn soccer ball, a gold Solomonic ring, and a Bible open to Psalm 23. These objects were chosen deliberately. Each points to a specific chapter of his biography, some of which are rarely discussed in the popular record. By examining exactly what he took into the grave, we can begin to reconstruct the reality of Robert Nesta Marley. We start with the worn leather soccer ball. While the world knew him for his music, those closest to him knew that his deepest daily preoccupation was football. He even told journalists that he loved music first, only because loving football first might be too dangerous. On the pitch, his relaxed public persona vanished. He played with an aggressive, competitive style that dominated the midfield and earned him the nickname Tough Gong. He kept a ball with him everywhere, in hotel hallways, parking lots, and recording studios. If a reporter wanted an interview, they often had to survive a full match against him and his bandmates first. This athletic drive ultimately triggered a physical revelation. During a 1977 match in France, an opponent's metal cleat badly injured his right big toe. When the wound refused to heal, doctors discovered a rare form of malignant melanoma under the nail. Medical professionals advised him to amputate the toe to halt the disease. Adhering strictly to his religious beliefs against cutting the flesh, he refused the surgery. Over the next 4 years, the cancer spread to his lungs and brain, ending his life at just 36. He often told people that football is freedom. It is a heavy irony that the physical exertion he used to escape the pressures of fame became the exact mechanism that revealed his fatal illness. Next is the acoustic guitar. In the late 1970s, Jamaica was a war zone, torn apart by warring political factions. From his Kingston compound, Marley used his music to navigate and calm this fractured society. He sang about revolution and uprisings, yet biographers and researchers are virtually certain that in his entire adult life, he never fired or even held a firearm. He maintained physical pacifism even as he lived at the center of a conflict. But that pacifism offered no physical armor. On the evening of December 3, 1976, 2 days before a scheduled free concert aimed at easing political tensions, a 7-man hit squad ambushed his home. The gunman fired into the rehearsal space. His manager took 5 bullets. His wife, Rita, was shot in the head in the driveway. Marley himself was struck in the chest and arm. Everyone survived. Marley refused to go into hiding. Instead, he arrived at the Smile Jamaica concert 2 days later and walked directly onto the stage. With a bullet still lodged near his elbow, he delivered a 90-minute performance to 80,000 people. When asked why he risked his life to play, he replied that the people trying to make the world worse weren't taking a day off. He played a full set while still carrying the bullet in his arm, a refusal to let the threat of violence dictate his movements. Finally, we reach the last objects resting in the casket, a heavy gold ring gifted by an Ethiopian prince, and a Bible laid open to Psalm 23. To understand his spiritual core, we have to look at his youth. Born to a white English father and a black Jamaican mother, he was alienated by his mixed heritage and mocked as white boy. During these isolating early years, he developed a talent for palm reading. At just 7 years old, he examined a palm, announced he was going to become a musician, and then categorically refused to ever read a hand again. It was the beginning of a lifelong spiritual search. He eventually found a home in the Rastafari movement, adopting its dietary laws, growing dreadlocks, and promoting its theology globally. But as he entered his final months of life, his theology shifted. In November 1980, facing terminal cancer, he requested baptism into the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. The presiding archbishop christened him with a new Christian name, Berhane Selassie, which translates to Light of the Trinity. Following the administration of the sacrament in his New York hotel room, he embraced his family and wept for nearly an hour. The presence of the Solomonic ring and the open Bible beside him reflects a mind that remained curious, a seeker who refused to be confined to a single box. Looking at these items together reveals a man defined by internal contradictions and specific physical choices. We find an athlete whose love for a game revealed his mortality. We see a pacifist who absorbed gunfire and answered it with music. We meet a mystic who sought new faith on his deathbed. Letting go of the simplified myth does not diminish what he built. Instead, it anchors his musical achievements in the grit, pain, and discipline of his actual life. The grave goods at 9 Mile anchor Marley to the difficult and surprising biography he actually lived, one that was more complex than the simplified legend he left behind.
Welcome to Byte Tunes. To know more amazing things, please subscribe this channel.